come on by myself today because I had something I wanted to talk to you about. And sometimes I just want to talk, and I love my guests, but sometimes I just want to talk. So let's talk about your audience. Your audience is so important, and it's not about marketing. Most of the time, I know writers will get a great idea and then they'll just go ahead and write it. And then when they're finished, and I got to say, I did this too, they will sit down and try to figure out who the audience is. Now, do you really think that's how the big name people like John Grisham and Nicholas Sparks, do you think that's how they do it? Nope, it's not. It's not how they do it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be formulaic. You don't. I'm not talking about a formula. I'm talking about perspective and the feeling of your writing. What does the reader experience when they're reading your book? How do they feel when they get to the ending? That's what I'm talking about. The reader experience. So important because once you have written a book and you have readers that love your book, then what you need to do is recreate that experience for them again and again and again. What is it? Is your story fast paced, slow paced? Is it thoughtful? Or is it romantic? Or is it high stress tension? What is it? And the same thing goes for nonfiction. What are you talking about? What's your topic? What is the way that you deliver the material? Do you deliver it as kind of a training manual or as more inspirational? Do you include a lot of personal stories or anecdotes? How are you doing it? And what's your objective? What's your objective for the book? Do you want the book to lead into purchasing something else? Fiction or nonfiction now? And what does your audience want from you? So when you're thinking about your book, you need to think about who's going to read it, who's going to consume it. How do you want them to feel while they're consuming it? How do you want them to feel at the end? What is the journey that you're taking them on? Because audience is not a marketing decision. It's actually a storytelling and delivery decision. Because even in a nonfiction book, you are still telling a story. You're giving insights and aha moments and transformation. It is like a story that you are leading the reader through to get to a desired end. What they learned, how they're changing in their life, their relationships are shifting, all of that. So if you're not clear on that, you can get mixed feedback from your beta readers, like I didn't get this, or I liked the first book, but this one just didn't land quite as well. You need to be very aware. And how can you get aware? By asking. Ask your beta readers, ask the readers that are around you, the ones that come up to your table and say, "Oh, I loved your book. What was it that you really loved the most? What did it make? How did it land with you? How did it make you feel?" Ask them. They'll love it. They'll want to tell you. And pay attention. They're giving you great information. They love you enough to come to that event, to come up and talk to you, and to be enthusiastic. That's huge. Most readers, probably 95% of the readers, don't ever give any feedback. This person showed up. So ask them. Ask them. You'll find out some amazing things if you just ask some questions. So there are two target markets really for a book. One is the primary market, the people who buy the book, and then there's an emotional target market, the people who feel what the book is delivering. They feel like they relate to you, they relate to the story or to the contents of your book if you're doing nonfiction. You may think they're the same, but they're not the same. So let's say the primary market that you have, people who buy the book are entrepreneurs with their first startup. Okay. So the emotional target market are entrepreneurs with a similar enough mindset to you that they feel like you get them and they get you. So that's kind of like a subset of the bigger market. And really, those are the ones you want to hone in on, because the ones that are emotional are the ones that buy stuff. So this idea of knowing your audience, it just informs everything. And again, not formulaic. So if you know your audience, you know how much to explain and how much just to assume. Do they know what this widget is? Well, then you don't have to talk about it very much. If they don't know what this widget is, then you're going to have to describe it and go into detail and all of that. You need to know what they know, so you know how to structure your book. When you want to give the emotional tone, what wavelength is your audience on? Do they like edgy and drastic and high tension, or do they want soft and emotional? You could write a romance novel with a wide spectrum. You could go from the completely off the chart with violence and all this stuff, or you could go totally clean romance with no touching, maybe even no kiss until the end. I mean, just so soft and so gentle. And the tone and the pacing and the word choices and the amount of the emotions that you portray. I mean, on the one spectrum, you could have somebody in a rage and all this anger and all this lashing out and all this stuff. And this side, people might get angry, but they won't do it to the degree, of the other. So it really does make a huge difference on how you deliver the material. It also affects the cover. Covers are hugely important. What does your audience like? Do they want whimsical, cartoonish? Would they rather have I was at a book show this weekend and I came up to this lady's table and there are all these men's torsos. I mean, it's all these men without a shirt. Is that what they want? What do they want? Your audience will tell you that. And it's so important to understand that. And the way to find it out, ask them, did you like the cover? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? And find out. Do some research. Research other books in your same type, fiction or nonfiction, and look at the covers that are successful. Are they words with a colored background? They have people on them. They have pictures and images on them. What do they look like? Are they very nuanced and pastel colors, or are they very vibrant? Look at the books that are selling and see what they're like. Hugely important in many, many areas. So when you're thinking about your audience, it's so important that you dig a little deeper. Now, what I did, and this is an interview that's way back, it's way back to when I was doing the Fiction Writers Podcast. I'm talking about a long time ago. I interviewed someone that was one of my best readers and asked her all these questions. And I found out some very interesting things. So find a good reader. Ask them. If someone comes up to your table, just ask them, would you mind if we have a phone call, maybe 20-minute phone call, and I could ask you some questions, because you're one of my favorite readers and I would love to know more about what you like. It would help me so much. And they will be delighted. The person I interviewed was just glowing. She was just glowing the whole time. We met on Zoom and I recorded it with her permission, and it was amazing. So don't wait until your book is done to think about who the audience is. Find out who your audience is and then stick with them and be loyal to them, just like they are loyal to you. This podcast is based on an article on Substack. If you're on Substack, go over to In the Writer's Chair and subscribe. There's a ton of stuff over there, and the subscriptions are free. Thank you so much. Thanks for pulling up a chair with us. See you next time.